Hello bakers, welcome back to Budget Baking Adventures. Welcome to Christmas in July. Today we are going to put together a quick and easy yet delicious and minty Christmas bark. So if you're watching this in July, it's Christmas in July, but if you're watching this at Christmas time, happy Christmas. Okay, so like I said, this recipe is super easy. I have already chopped my candies, and let me tell you what these candies are. First, before I get into all of this, I just want to let you know that this recipe is super budget friendly, coming in at approximately $6.50 to make. So round up $7 to make this, and it is multiple servings, okay? This would be great just to snack on, to give as gifts. Whatever you choose to do with it, it can definitely make a fantastic gift from the kitchen. Okay, so what we've got here are 16 ounces, which is actually 2 cups of chocolate chips. I like to mix mine, so this is a mixture of milk chocolate and semi-sweet chips, which in a moment we are going to melt. And then, like I said, I've prepared my candies, which is 1 box of the Andes Peppermint candies. I have the red and white variety here. And then I have about 8 mini peppermint patties that I've chopped. Let me show you what that looks like. In case you're unfamiliar, these are the little peppermint patties. You might see them also as York peppermint patties, but I got mine from Dollar Tree, which helped make this recipe a bit more economical. So mine aren't name brand. Okay, so we've got that. So we have our candies. I have my sprinkles, which are optional, which I actually have candy cane peppermint sprinkles that I'm going to use on the top. And then of course we've got our chocolate, which is 16 ounces, and it comes to 2 cups. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I've got a small baking sheet here. I would say it's like 9 by 12. So it's a smaller variety, and I have it lined with parchment paper, which is going to help us after the candy has cooled. It'll help us remove it easily from the pan. So what we're going to do is we are going to melt our chocolate chips in the micro. I'm going to pop it in there. Now this is a lot of chips, but I'm going to go ahead and pop it in there for 1 minute and then give it a good stir, because I've mentioned this before, but in case this is your first time seeing me, chocolate chips hold their shape until they're mixed, even if they're melted, so they can easily be burned. Before I proceed, let me show you my Christmas apron that was given to me by an amazing client of mine. I'm also a hairdresser, and one of my hair clients, who has since become my friend, gave this to me for Christmas. Isn't it cute? Okay, let's get this melted. So like I said, I'm putting it in for 1 minute on high. And normally I would start it at 30 seconds, but because there's 2 cups of chocolate, it's going to take a little bit more energy to get that melted. So I'm going to start with 1 minute, give it a stir, and I suspect I'll have to put it in for another 30 seconds, but the microwave may surprise me, and maybe we won't. So I would love for you guys to tell me in the comments what some of your favorite treats to make for Christmas are. I'm always open to learning and trying new recipes, so I would really love to know something that you make every year for Christmas without fail. Your go-to, a family recipe, whatever it is. I would love to know about that. Every Christmas, I take several days and make hundreds of cookies, different kinds of cookies. And my sisters, I have 2 sisters, so my sisters and I get on a Skype call, not Skype, who uses Skype? Skype's not even around. A Zoom call, and we actually bake together. All right, so this is looking good. It's starting to get melty, but not yet ready for spreading. Like I said, I'm going to pop it back in for another 30 seconds, and we'll see if that does the trick. so I bring my laptop into the kitchen, and my one sister lives semi-local. She's about 35 minutes from me here in North Carolina, but my other sister lives up in Ohio. So sometimes my local sister will come here and we'll get on the computer with our other sister, or sometimes we all just stay at our homes, just depending on what's going on, and bake together online. It's really fun, and we look forward to it every year, and we do it usually within the first or second week of December. All right, friends, this might be good. Let's see. I think so. It's definitely spreadable consistency. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just stir it up really good, make sure I get everything from the bottom. And then I'm gonna start pouring it into my, I'd say, mini cookie sheet. Onto, however you wanna say it. And you guys know I don't like to waste anything, so I'm gonna get everything I can out with the spoon, and then I'm gonna get a little spatula and get everything else out. All right, let me set that in there. Merry Christmas in July. Okay, perfect. I chose my measuring cup that has a flat bottom so that I can easily clear the chocolate from the bottom. You know, sometimes they have a rounded bottom, it's a little harder. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna spread this onto the bottom of the cookie sheet. And, I mean, you don't have to, you know, work at the speed of light, but you do want to work quickly because it's going to start to get hard. So what I did too was when I put the parchment paper in the pan, took my hand and I went around the edges to make lines so that it would stay in the pan a little bit easier, because you know how parchment paper likes to pop out. However, once you get your baked goods or whatever it is you're making onto the parchment paper, then it stays down just fine. All right, so I want to try and get this as even as possible, and I want to make sure I'm covering the whole pan. This way I get more Christmas bark. All right. It sure smells terrific. Now, if you wanted to make this even a little bit more on the minty side, you can add mint extract to your chocolate as well. I just didn't want to go quite that over the top because this is going to be pretty minty anyway. Okay, so now while the chocolate is still soft, okay, I have successfully unwrapped all of my candies, and now I am going to chop them up. We're going to take our candies and sprinkle them over the top. So I'm going to actually kind of mix them together a little bit. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like Christmas, and it's very, very minty. Now you can load this thing up, as loaded as you want it to be with candy. I'm going to pretty much coat the top. I don't want you to see too much of the chocolate beneath. Oh, the colors are so pretty. And then too, I like to use like the little slivers of chocolate underneath. I do like to sprinkle those over the top because they do kind of look like sprinkles a little bit. Okay, so before this gets hard, we want to go ahead and press in the chocolates onto the top. I mean, the chocolate is still pretty soft. All right. But I want to make sure that later when I either cut or break this apart, that the chocolates that I put on the top don't come tumbling off. I don't want to waste them. I want to enjoy them when I eat the Christmas bark. So I'm actually going through just with my hand. You can use a spatula if you prefer, if you don't want to get your hands dirty. But my hands were already dirty from sprinkling the chocolates on top. but you could use a spatula, but I'm going through the whole thing just to make sure that I have it all tapped down. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna lose a few pieces, and that's fine, but I don't want half of the candy to come tumbling off later. Okay, let me just rinse. You guys know I don't like my hands being dirty. Both careers, pastry chef and hairdresser, require dirty hands, and I don't like dirty hands. All right, and now we have our edible candy canes. And I'm just gonna use a few because I loaded this thing up with chocolate. I'll show it to you before I pop it in the fridge. But a couple of little candy canes here and there won't hurt for sure. Again, just a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo. Just like Happy Gilmore. Do you guys remember that movie? When he's trying to tap the golf ball into the hole. Okay, so here's what we've got. Is that loaded or is that loaded? It's loaded. So I am going to take this pan. I'm going to make room in my refrigerator, and I am going to pop it in the fridge. I would say for about 30 minutes because we want to make sure that there's no wet spots when we're cutting into it later. So I'm going to pop this in there for 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and slice her up. Just kidding. I wanted to share something with you first. As I was putting the pan in the fridge, it occurred to me that this might be a valuable tip when you're making bark or anything with melted chocolate that you're placing in the fridge to harden. What you want to do is you want to make sure you clear a flat spot in the fridge. For instance, I was just moving some things around because it was a small enough pan that I could just put it right in this way and it would fit, but there were some things on the bottom. So I flattened out the things on the bottom and put the pan in. And then I looked to make sure that the pan wasn't crooked in any direction. Because if it is, let's say you put the pan in crooked like this, that's how it's gonna harden. So your chocolate is going to slide down to the bottom part as it hardens, and that you're gonna have a real thick piece of chocolate. And then up at this side, you're gonna have a really thin sliver. So make sure when you're making room in the fridge, of course, the best option is just to put it flat on the shelf. But if that's not an option, just make sure that you flatten out whatever's in the fridge to make it flat enough for it to sit straight. There you have it. And 30 minutes later, here we are with our Christmas bark. So what I've done is I've just removed it from the pan just by lifting up the sides of the parchment paper. And you can kind of see that the candy itself comes away from the sides. Another indication that it's hardened. So I've just got a serrated knife. You can take your hands and break it with your hands if you want to. I don't particularly like to cut them into any shapes. I kind of like bark just to kind of be natural, which if you like it that way, then probably baking it is your best option. Breaking it your best option also, just like I just did. But you can cut it a little bit and then break it because it does get rather hard. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what I did was I cut it into a square. See how it's falling off? Not too much, not too bad. And then I'm going to break it with my hands. Boom. Delicious Christmas bark. Okay, I'm going to taste it. Oh, that's good. Minty. You definitely have to be a fan of peppermint to like this bark. But let me say this. You might be thinking, Deanna, I really don't like mint. Is there anything else I can use? Absolutely. You can make Christmas bark with anything that you like. You can use pretzels, nuts, cookies that are crushed up, toffee pieces. I mean, M&Ms. The possibilities are really endless. So whatever you like, create it. And then to add a little bit of Christmas or any type of holiday flair, you can just add colored sprinkles according to the holiday. And it works out perfectly. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making Christmas bark with me for Christmas in July. Now what I'm going to do after I get this all broken up, I am going to put it in an airtight container. I usually line the bottom with wax paper so that it doesn't stick. Put it in the container after I've broken it up, and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge. You can also freeze it, but you're running a risk of the chocolate just not looking as fresh when you want to eat it. But the fridge would be fine. It is summertime here, so I'm not going to be leaving it on the counter. I'm going to be putting it in the fridge, but I would recommend that even in the winter months as well. Just keeping it in the refrigerator. This way it doesn't get melty. And if you're going to give it as a gift, what I would recommend is either purchasing little boxes or little jars and putting it inside of there with a ribbon or some fabric over the top. You could also just make it easy peasy and take some cling wrap, put the piece of cling wrap down, stack up several pieces of the bark, maybe like 6 pieces, put it down on the cling wrap, and then pull the cling wrap up, put like a bread tie around it or a piece of ribbon around it, and give it as a gift that way. Really, the possibilities of how to package it up are also endless. But you might not want to package it up. You might just want to eat it. And I say if that's what you want to do, then that's what you need to do. All right, bakers, thank you for being here. I ask that you please like this video and subscribe to my channel. You can even hit the little bell if you want to be notified every time I come out with a new video. All right, happy Christmas in July. We'll see you soon.